Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Hype Train, the only show on YouTube where some twat who knows sweet fuck all about an upcoming game decides to board the hype train to see if it's worth riding to its final stop, not boarding at all, or jumping out the window when something shitty gets announced over the tannoy. Today's journey is Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which is one of the shittiest titles I've ever heard, considering when looking at the game it's actually set in a war and not the shadow of one, arriving the 10th of October this year. The previous announced date of mid-August was arguably one of the best possible dates to release a sequel to a Rail Pursuit game, as it's the end of the summer holidays, so the kids might have to worry about their parents nagging them to go outside to do shit that won't turn them into an introverted man-child later in life, but not so far along the later half of the year where I'll have to compete with the money-sucking piles of shit that usually comes out in November to December. Then again, the now set in stone release date of just before Halloween is fine. Let's go over the obvious. Shadow of War is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor, which was really good. There we are. Yes, Warner Brothers and Monolith have decided to bring back Taylor and Kellogg's Blueberry to complete the gap between the Hobnob and the Lord of the Rim jobs, which we see in a CG trailer as the two attempt to start their own cash for gold business and immediately run into a problem with their first piece. Okay, I should point out I'm not exactly the biggest fan of forced hype, despite using the metaphor of a hype train, with me being the passenger on said train. So when I watched the gameplay trailer and heard the narrator quote said trailer with the word epic at every opportunity she got, you can see why I'm being cautiously pessimistic about the reveal of this game. I did like Shadow of Mordor quite a bit actually, but it's the combination of some woman saying epic multiple times to draw in all the 12-year-olds and the bollocking pre-order tiers that were already revealed in its announcement that's just two WB games for me to ignore. As far as we can tell, gameplay is exactly the same from Mordor with some added abilities, and it looks like the famed Nemesis system mechanic from the first game has been overhauled with some added environment and base capturing / territory takeover mechanics. So basically it looks like Monolith have taken one of the least interesting parts of the Far Cry games, but it looks like they've made it more engaging, which I'm all for. I'm just seriously hoping there isn't any of that crappy base building bullshit that was in MGS5 and Fallout 4. If I have to be there to tell them to feed themselves, fix things and where to shit, I will kindly tell every orc, Uruk-hai and Uruk-gobbler to fuck off. I don't play video games to take care of a bunch of glorified children with Cockney accents. By the way, the warlike castle crashing looks fun, although I'd personally prefer it wasn't an open world and there was more of a mission-based structure. I know that's never going to be the case, since the last game was open world, and open worlds are the AAA industry's local whore nowadays, but it would be nice to see a more focused, lineage structured game in an industry that treats the word linear like it's an STD, trying its hardest to convince players that linearity is a fucking disease that should be wholly avoided, despite a lot of the best games of all time being extremely to completely linear. And speaking of fucking disgusting, it was revealed that Shadow of War, a single-player RPG, was going to have loot boxes and microtransactions. Fuck you, WB. And the way they showed it off, it's like they're trying to be a parody of, well, themselves. The way they had that one orc rubbing his hands together. Congrats, WB. My perception of your top brass is now just this guy, doing this. All of you, all sat around a big desk whilst money, coke and hookers are being thrown onto it. And if that wasn't bad enough, they had to double down on being the biggest scumbags in the industry. The lead developer under Monolith, Michael Forgey, unfortunately died from cancer earlier this year. And the other developers loved him so much that they decided to immortalize him in Shadow of War by making him into Fort Hog Orc-Slayer, a DLC character who's basically just the mysterious stranger from Fallout 4. In the trailer to this, it says that for everyone who buys the $5 DLC, $3.50 of that $5 will be donated to the man's family. Okay, well, WB is still getting money from that, but it's better than nothing, right? Wrong. WB will donate $3.50 for each time the DLC character is bought, excluding for when it's bought in any of these states and anywhere else around the world. That means if you aren't in the majority of America, then WB gets every cent. This is profiting from a man's death. What the actual fuck? And most of the traditional games media didn't even pick up on this until Total Biscuit drew attention to it. The video of him detailing this will be linked in the description. I still don't like how the games media that missed this just made quick edits like, oh, by the way, WB is doing this really cunty thing and we were too thick to notice till somebody pointed it out, lol. And there has been a slight update to this, and by slight I mean WB's PR manager is basically half-arsing it. In a statement made to IGN, Warner Brothers declared, "Neither Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment nor Monolith Productions will profit from any sales of Fort Hog Orc-Slayer DLC, regardless of the territory in which that DLC is sold." What? That's it? They don't even say where the money goes, only that Warner Brothers won't profit from it? What the fuck? Was this in a tweet? Why is this so short and why doesn't it clarify anything? Now there's been an even bigger revelation to this bit. Warner Brothers have now decided to make Foothog Orc-Slayer a completely free DLC. Basically, they've re-uploaded the trailer for the DLC, but instead have decided to make changes saying that it will be free, and have included a much better response and reason as to why in the description. I'll leave a link to the video in my description, but excerpts from the description reads, "For absolute clarity, our intention was always to give all profits from the DLC worldwide to the Foggy family. We now recognise that tying our donation to sales of the DLC was not the best way to achieve our goal of offering financial support to the family and creating a lasting memorial to Michael Foggy. We sincerely apologise to the fans and to the Foggy family for the confusion we've created." So it looks like Warner Brothers were not intending on making any profit from the DLC. It's a shame they handled this announcement so poorly, otherwise their reputation would be in a much greater light as of writing this. Whilst I'm talking about responses from the people behind this game, the design director Bob Roberts sat down for an interview with Eurogamer at EGX and talked about the game's loot box system. And Roberts does clarify a lot of things. Again, I'll leave a link in the description of the full interview, but to quote various parts of it, "It's not required to be online to play the game. We kept all of the loot boxes and the economy of real-world money turned off in playtesting, so we know we are balancing around an experience which is rewarding without any of that stuff. You can enjoy the full experience without putting any extra money in, and including them," referring to loot boxes, "does not distract from the rest of it," it referring to the game. So Monolith and WB are definitely doing its hardest now to convince us all that these money-grabbing schemes won't affect the game negatively. And well, the only way to tell if this is true is to get the game when it comes out.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
But regardless, I'd say it's a fairly safe bet to be fairly hyped over this game if you want to be. Just remember, when stepping off the platform, have your umbrellas up if you want to avoid being coated in shit. Well, I'm pretty much done for now. Look forward to your microtransaction-filled single-player RPG. I know I will. But if you want to watch someone else's video on Shadow of Mordor, I heavily recommend Hero of Grace's series on it. I love all his videos. It's not a single one I don't find funny. Anyways, I'll see you all at the next station. Get it? Because it's a train meta... Screw it, I'm done.
Wrath in my head. I ain't got the blues no more, I said. Steps on more, I said. Pick me up.